Now what we're going to do is we're going to fold along our center front line. We have a notch at the top. We're going to fold along our center front line and we're going to pin so it doesn't move back and forth. In a couple of areas and up along the top. And what we're going to do at this point is we're actually going to do the top stitch. That's going to be the stitch that holds the zipper in place, but it's going to be right through to the front of the fabric. So what you need to do at this point is you need to make sure that you are giving yourself some guidelines for stitching, okay? We don't want this top stitching to be at a, you know, all wavy and wiggly. So if you feel better about hand basting this, you can hand baste this along here, or you can give yourself some pencil marks or guideline so you know where to stitch. Most important with this step is on the inside you have one zipper that's already stitched down over here, one zipper tape, but the other zipper tape needs to be pulled back. So when you do this top stitch, this zipper tape does not get caught. If it does get caught, you won't be able to do your next step. So fold that back and pin it up like that. So that way when you do this row of top stitching, you're not catching that, okay? And you're going to do that row of top stitching right up to the center front crotch right down there. So you should be able to do this with your zipper foot, and you shouldn't have to switch it back to your other foot. So start up at the top, make the stitch a little bit bigger if you'd like, back tack, and then follow your guidelines, either your pencil markings or your hand basting. Be careful when you pin that zipper underneath there, because mine just got caught. You want to make sure that you can, that this head of this pin doesn't get caught underneath there, which is what mine just did. Okay, so as you come around, you want a nice curve at the bottom down here, okay? So come around with a nice curve, ending at the bottom at center front, and then give yourself a little back tack. Now you have your top stitching, and because you folded your zipper tape back, that wasn't attached, so that's exactly what you want. And then you can take these pins out, and then we'll move on to our next step. Okay, our next step now is to attach the other side of the zipper to the where's left of the pant. What we're going to do is fold back along our center front seam, but we're not going to fold back at our 5/8, which is what we have marked on our pattern. We're going to fold back at a 1/2 inch. So we're actually cutting back our seam allowance by 1/8 of an inch down to a 1/2 inch. So fold back on that 1/8 from the seam allowance, and with the zipper still closed, pin this seam allowance to the zipper. Okay, and pin it right along. You want that to be up against the edge of the zipper teeth, but not over the teeth, or you'll have a hard time once again zipping the zipper up and down. And that's probably happened to you before, where you get something and the zipper teeth are getting caught into the garment. Okay, so pin it all the way down, and you'll notice at the bottom by doing this and pushing that 1/8 over, when you get down to the bottom, this is lying in here and the zipper sort of folds back over it slightly, and it makes for a much nicer, cleaner zipper at the bottom. So let me pin that down there. Okay, so we're going to stitch that all the way down, all the way up to here. But first of all, before we do that, I want you to unzip it and take your zipper facing. With the zipper facing with the straight edge along your zipper straight edge, I want you to lay the zipper facing down And on the inside, you can see that you want to match the zipper facing and lie it just over slightly the zipper and that raw edge of your seam. So that way on the inside, it makes a nice clean finish. So start with that zipper facing at the top, and you're going to catch all of these layers. You're going to catch the outer layer, the zipper, and the zipper facing with this one row of top stitching that we're going to do right now. And make sure you're stitching nice and straight and flat down to catch all of this so you don't end up with problems down in this area. So pin down as far as you can go down here. And you will then come back later and do a bar tack and clean that up. So we're going to do one row of stitching right down here with your zipper foot and the teeth right up against the edge of the zipper foot, just a slight bit away. So once again, we're starting at the top at the waist edge, and we're going to do a couple of stitches and then a back tack, and then stitch right along the teeth, catching everything. When you get down to the bottom down here, back tack once again, just be careful you don't hit that zipper stop or the zipper, which is the metal part, or you'll break your needle. So be careful of that. So you can look on the inside. You can see there's your zipper facing, sort of encases the other parts of the zipper. And on the outside you have your stitching. Then you can zip it back up, and what we're going to do down here is we're going to pin the bottom of the zipper, and you've got to change your zipper foot back to get to a back tack to your regular foot, which will allow you to do a zigzag for a back tack. So now when you put your zigzag, your regular foot on, switch to your zigzag, which are your red markings on your machine, and over here at a very fine stitch. And what we're doing is just doing a small little zigzag at the base of the zipper stop, okay? You want to make sure you're not right on top of the zipper stop, because what will happen is you will break your zipper. So we have a little back tack, a little bar tack actually there. Now if you want to get a little more creative with these, you can also do another one at the bottom, sort of the way they do them on jeans. They'll do 2 rows of them. So you can do 2 little bar tacks down at the bottom. And you notice that it's a small zigzag and it's very tight, very close together. Just kind of finishes it off a little bit. Sometimes people put another one over there on the side. And that's pretty much your fly front zipper with a facing inside. Then you'd finish off the rest of your pant and add your waistband, and you're good to go.